Hey, this is Math Minutes Pro with Dr. Harrison. Today we'll talk about how to classify triangles by their sides and by their angles. So let's first begin by defining what the word classify means. To classify means to put things in a particular group or category. Specifically, to put things in a particular group or category that have the same characteristics or qualities. Now, we're going to talk about how to classify triangles by their sides. When we refer to classifying triangles by their sides, you can classify them by either equilateral, scalene, or isosceles triangles. There are three ways also to classify triangles by their angles, specifically right, acute, and obtuse. So let's first talk about some simple terminology, and then we will get into classifying these triangles. I will provide complete definitions of all these terms that I'm going to mention in the description section below of this video. First, let's start with equilateral. So equilateral refers to when you have a triangle and all the sides are equal or the same length. Scalene triangle refers to a triangle where all of the side lengths are different. And isosceles means that you have a triangle where two sides are the same length. Now let's talk about classifying triangles by angles. You have a right triangle when you have an angle in the triangle that has a measure of 90 degrees. You have an acute triangle when all of the angles in the triangle measure between 0 and 90 degrees. Then you have an obtuse triangle when one angle measure is between 90 degrees and 180 degrees. So let's go ahead and get started in classifying the triangles first by sides. So let's take a look at the first triangle here on the top left. If you notice, all of the sides of the triangle measure 8.6. In that case, we would call this an equilateral triangle. Okay, let's take a look at the second triangle. Notice that we have all the side lengths different, 6.1, 7.4, and 8.7. In this case, we're going to call this a scalene triangle. Now over here, looking at this triangle, we have 11.2, 13.2, and 7. This is also a scalene triangle. And then lastly, we have two sides of this triangle equal to 2.5. We're going to call this an isosceles triangle. Okay, very good. Now we're going to classify these four triangles by their angles. So let's take a look at what we have here. Now, starting here, we notice that all of the angle measures are 60 degrees in measurement. So in that case, we're going to call this an acute triangle. Now let's come over here. We notice that all of the angles here are measuring less than 90 degrees, just like this one over here. We're going to also call this an acute Triangle. Now starting over here, we notice that there's 90 degrees in this triangle. Usually you'll have a box here, and we'll go ahead and draw that. That box refers to a right triangle or a triangle with 90 degrees. So we're going to label this as a right triangle. And then lastly, we notice that this angle measure in this triangle is 128 degrees. That is between 90 and 180 degrees. We're going to call this an obtuse triangle. Okay, so we have successfully classified these triangles here by their sides in green and by their angles in purple. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to check out my Patreon page in my video description below. On my Patreon page, you can get access to exclusive math lessons, study tips, live Q&A, and more. See you next time.